And a very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Friday evening's programme. Now, we've all seen the terrible pictures from America of the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. Thousands of people have been caught up in the disaster, many of them from our region. We'll be hearing the story of a Lincolnshire woman who's lost everything. She's described conditions as a living hell. Also tonight, is Grimsby the worst place in our region to be unemployed? These former Birdseye workers were made redundant 6 months ago and are still looking for new jobs. The town's unemployment rate is twice the national average. Also tonight, I shall be talking to Bad Girls actress Victoria Bush. There'll be our name change shortlist of 4 as chosen by you, the final 4. And how do you fancy owning a little piece of railway history? Well, a former station in Hull is up for sale. We'll be having a look around and see what you get for £160,000. You live somewhere a little bit unusual, a little bit different. Well, you can't get much more different than this. A former railway station, now a house, has just gone on the market in Hull. Kevin Keane has been for a tour round.
Well, wouldn't it be wonderful living in a house like this, an old converted railway station, where you can wake up every morning and remember those good old days of steam? Well, if only something like this was for sale. Fantastic. Let's go and have a look round. Well, this would have been the first room that passengers came into when they were coming to catch the train here, and our guide through the station is Hayley. Hayley, what room are we in now?
We're actually standing in the ticket office here, so obviously people used to come through the door you've just come through and come in here and actually purchase their tickets before going out there onto the platform to board the train.
How busy would it have been? It
would have been quite busy actually, because obviously in the mid-Victorian area that was one of the main forms of transport for people.
So what room would this have been?
Well, originally this was the waiting room. So obviously people would come in here as they were waiting for the train and probably take a seat here or over on the other side. And if it was a cold wintry day, they would have had the nice fire burning to keep them warm.
And was this like a first-class waiting room, or could any riff-raff come and sit in here?
Ooh. I'm not exactly sure, but I imagine it probably would have been mixed. So probably, you know, anybody that was waiting for the train would have come in here.
It's quite a grand-looking building, really, isn't it, from the outside, to say it's just a small station. Why do you think that was?
Well, I suppose the architecture in the day, you know, would have suited this type of property, really. I mean, it fits with the arch windows, etc. And obviously, you know, with the station, there's so many rooms that they needed to use for different things that it would have been a long property, although the upstairs is a lot smaller in comparison.
Well, you might be waiting a long time for the next train. The last one ran here some 40 years ago. But if you fancy buying this, it'll set you back £160,000.
I think it looks rather nice and a bargain. Now,